It looks like Trump's behind-the-scenes activities have come back to haunt him. A recent picture showing his raised palm with red splotches has gone viral, and experts are saying it's a symptom of syphilis. Naturally, Jimmy Kimmel had a blast with this information, tearing Trump apart on his show. And, surprise surprise, Crybaby Trump didn't take it well at all. What did Kimmel say to make Trump throw such a fit? Let's find out. Every day brings something new for Trump. It's like he's collecting rumors the way Thanos collected Infinity Stones. It hasn't been long since the sleeping in court incident died down, and now there's this. Former President Trump was photographed with marks on his right hand, finger, and thumb as he left Trump Tower in Manhattan on Wednesday, January 17th. He was heading to court to face a second defamation accusation from writer E. Jean Carroll, after previously being found liable for sexually abusing her at a New York City department store in the mid-1990s, although Trump denied this accusation in 2010.
And I didn't know her husband, but he was a newscaster. But I have no idea who she is.
Now Jimmy Kimmel goes on to say, Trump has syphilis or syphilis has Donald Trump, and the crowd bursts out laughing.
Which could mean Donald Trump has syphilis or syphilis has Donald Trump, one of those.
Kimmel, in his classic late-night style, humorously matched up syphilis symptoms with various moments from Trump's public appearances. He couldn't resist adding his take on the situation and roasted him with a video titled "Syphilis and You," which showed the symptoms that Trump was having, and it's quite hilarious. Symptoms like mood swings, symptoms like impaired judgment, symptoms like confusion, and so on. Things became a little more serious when medical professionals stepped into the scene. For instance, Dr. Stephen Beutler, who has over 30 years of experience in infectious diseases, wrote an article titled, "A Medical Theory for Donald Trump's Behavior." Although Beutler acknowledged he cannot, of course, establish this diagnosis from a distance, he argued that Trump might suffer from neurosyphilis, which first shows symptoms as psychiatric issues and personality changes. According to Beutler, neurosyphilis appears 10 to 30 years after the initial infection and is known for causing neurologic and neuropsychiatric disease. Symptoms include irritability, loss of concentration, delusional thinking, grandiosity, impaired memory, insight, and judgment. Insomnia, visual problems, photophobia, dimming of vision, and squinting may also occur. So maybe Jimmy Kimmel's roast was actually based on this study by Beutler. Kimmel did some homework. Beutler suggested that Trump could have been exposed to syphilis, referencing Trump's own accounts of his past sexual life and the rise in syphilis cases in the 1980s. He noted a 1997 interview where Trump mentioned he's been so lucky in terms of that whole world. Kimmel also noted that back in the 90s, Trump claimed avoiding STDs was his personal Vietnam, so if he has syphilis now, the only thing he dodged was Vietnam. He cheekily suggested Trump might be dealing with a case of neurosyphilis.
It is possible that Trump may have a condition they call neurosyphilis, and while I am not a doctor...
Kimmel highlighted Trump's comments about being a great and very brave soldier to show how enthusiastic he was for having multiple relationships. Well, it's pretty clear that Donald Trump just can't say no to a woman, no matter her age. He's even admitted to it on plenty of shows, like with those crude comments he made on the Howard Stern show over the years. Much of what he says is downright disturbing. So it's no wonder people are saying he might have syphilis. Then there's also the time he admitted he can never say no to a woman. If you can't say no to a woman, we can only imagine how many women we're talking about from the 90s. Looks like he might be carrying a little more than just syphilis, if you know what I mean. And then there's that time he claimed he was immune and said he would come down and kiss everyone, men and women, standing below the stage. Oh sure, Trump, because everyone is just dying to get a smooch from you, you naughty old man. In a video blog for Politicon, Democratic political consultant James Carville mentioned that several doctors had confirmed to him that the marks on Trump's hand were indicative of secondary syphilis. They don't look like cuts to me, they look like sores, Carville said. I asked several doctors what medical condition shows up as hand sores, and the answer was immediate and unanimous: secondary syphilis. I think there's a good chance this man has the clap, and I'm not exactly keeping it a secret. Now people on social media took this little bit of information to town, and it was funny as hell. One user shared a meme on X that said, "When Donald is asked about claims that he has syphilis, I have no idea what syphilis is, never heard of her." Another user posted, "I love that anyone who's ever been close to and or touched Donald Trump is now wondering silently to themselves whether or not they have syphilis. So satisfying, priceless. As expected, people working on the Trump campaign claimed that the Republican frontrunner for the 2024 presidential race just had a little paper cut and spread the blood around on his hands. Oh, come on. We all know that even if he had murdered someone, you'd come up with a similarly flimsy excuse, wouldn't you? We all know how sexually perverted Trump can be. Just a month before the 2016 presidential election, a leaked tape revealed him bragging about grabbing women's genitals, caught on a hot mic during a 2005 Access Hollywood taping. The backlash was swift, with many condemning his words, including Republican politicians who expressed their disgust, only to quickly return to supporting him. And, as we know, he won the election anyway. That year, numerous women came forward about Trump's history of sexual misconduct. His response? Calling them horrible, horrible liars and denying everything, claiming it was all part of a grand conspiracy orchestrated by Hillary Clinton and the news media. Trump didn't stop at defending himself. He also dismissed allegations against those in his circle. In 2018, responding to sexual assault allegations within his administration, Trump tweeted, "People's lives are being shattered and destroyed by a mere allegation. Some are true and some are false. Some are old and some are new. There is no recovery for someone falsely accused. Life and career are gone. Is there no such thing any longer as due process?" Jessica Leeds told the New York Times in 2016 that, in the late 1970s, Trump, a stranger to her, reached up her skirt and grabbed her breasts on a flight to New York, describing him as an octopus with hands everywhere. Ivana Trump, his first wife, accused him of rape during a 1989 divorce deposition, later clarifying she didn't mean it literally or criminally. Photographer Kristen Anderson told The Washington Post that, in the early 1990s, Trump reached under her skirt at a nightclub.
Who, unbeknownst to me at that time, was Donald Trump, put their hand up my skirt.
An incident that left her and her friends very grossed out and weirded out. Jill Harth accused Trump of attempted rape in 1993, claiming he pushed her against a wall and put his hand up her dress. She dropped the suit in 1997 as part of a settlement in a separate case. Lisa Boyne told HuffPost in 2016 that in 1996, Trump forced women to walk across a table while he looked up their skirts and commented on their bodies. Now look what Trump says about his own daughter.
Although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. Yeah.
Real estate or golf?
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say, but I can't relate that.
However, Trump denied all of it and said that it was all a lie. Makes your skin crawl, doesn't it? The list of allegations against Trump is extensive, and it's high time he faced consequences for the things he's gotten away with, even though it's God sent.